and now we're streaming take two.
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Nintendo Dads episode 204, recorded today, November 8th, 2018. On tonight's episode, we discuss a lot of new DLC coming to the Nintendo Switch, including Kirby Star Allies and Splatoon 2. But of course, let's jump into the big nuggets. Is Nintendo hiring for a new Zelda game? Smash has apparently got their DLC roster. It's already locked in. Plus, there's some great Black Friday deals that you need to be aware of. Did we also mention Marty Estes is here from his Extra Life stream? That, so much more. Maybe I'll become untongue-tied. Jesse, cue the music, would you?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 104, not 104. Oh my gosh, what are we doing tonight, guys? 204 of Nintendo Dads. I am Marty Estes, and just like Justin Masson, I have no clue what I am saying right now. And you should have heard the first take of this. It was even worse.
Oh, and
guys, I'm so excited to be here.
And some of the patrons will, because I'm going to include this in the pre-show.
Absolutely. I think you should. Let them see how the sausage is made, right? That's what Zach always said. Guys, I'm here tonight with two of the finest men in the galaxy. We won't call them the Guardians of the Galaxy. No, they're here, and the galaxy doesn't even need to be guarded because they're here. Justin Masson, all the way from Ireland. How the heck are you tonight?
Oh, doing all right. Doing very excited to be here. Obviously, joining you in this Extra Life stream. I haven't been on the show for a couple weeks, but I've been playing some awesome games. I'm excited to be here. Plus, a little bit of like bearing the lead here. Marty, later today, world premiere. I'm excited.
A first ever. Let's look. First. This has to have the appropriate hype.
Right.
For the first time ever, Nintendo Dad's world premiere video.
World premiere video coming out later today. Ladies and gentlemen, it is hashtag Justin Dance 2019 coming out later today.
Right. Do we want to give a little bit of context for this for people who may not know what's going on?
Yeah, why don't you give some context?
Yeah, so we're right now, as we record this, we're in the middle of our 2018 Extra Life campaign. I am streaming right now. This is part of the whole 24 hours is being on the show with you guys tonight. I've just finished playing Super Mario Party with my family. Had an awesome time. Started the evening by playing Super Mario Maker. Had to dust off the Wii U to do that. And going to move on and play some other games. But guys, here's the thing. We made you a promise that the Nintendo Dads had a goal of $2,000 as a team. And if we crossed $1,000, if we made it halfway, Justin would do a 3-song Just Dance set where he danced and sang. And that's what you're going to get tomorrow.
You are.
After Justin had filled himself with Chinese food.
It was the worst idea ever. It's and I'm going to be honest, we were having so much fun. There's a bonus song in there. A bonus song.
Oh, you gave him 4 songs?
I gave him 4 songs and an amazing setup. All I'm going to say is the following, and this will make sense tomorrow when you watch the video, the world premiere. Maple syrup mousses. Write that one down. Maple syrup mousses.
And so let's be clear on this. This will all
make sense tomorrow when you watch the video.
The world premiere is going to be at the end of our Extra Life campaign. Is that correct?
Whatever works for you.
So,
sure.
Like, I guess, I don't know, like as a treat, we've finished, we've met our goals. Here's the world premiere video, or do you want to do it in the morning?
We will watch for our YouTube account and our social medias. We'll figure out when it's going to go, what time, because we'll have to schedule it. But I think just be prepared. Make sure everyone who's listening, you come back and check out our world premiere.
Yeah.
Be prepared.
Yeah. And speaking of being prepared, Mr. Jesse Waldack, are you prepared?
I honestly don't know.
I don't know that I'm prepared for this new angle on Jesse that we're seeing here.
Yeah, I got a new monitor because my last one died, and it sits up taller on my desk, and the bezel is thinner, so the camera can't fit on top of it like my old one could. So I tried under the monitor, and that looked weird from looking up at me. So I at least have it propped up. That's more middle ground, but it's not sitting between my camera 1 and monitor 1 and monitor 2. So if I'm looking at a monitor, I'm not looking at the camera.
Well, I like it. I think it's a good look. We got HD Uncle Jesse over there from the side. We got you in like the blue steel. I like it.
Yeah.
Guys, before we jump into the news tonight, let me kind of tell you where we're at on Extra Life, since this is part of our Extra Life stream. Right now, we are sitting at $933 raised on my end. Just a $25 donation just came in, putting me at $935 of my $1,200 goal. Nintendo Dad's team as a whole, which has done a great job, a fantastic job this year, just crossed the $1,600 mark.
Fantastic.
Raised for Extra Life. And so basically what that tells us is this. We've got about, I've got less than $300 to finish up. Nintendo Dads as a whole has less than $400 to finish up. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to push past that $1,200 goal, and we're going to try to meet our 2,000 team goal. All right. So, we've had a couple of members, specifically Tim Off. He was going to do Extra Life, and he had big plans for that. And his grandmother passed away, and he was not able to do those. And Tim, our hearts go out to you. Y'all know we talked about Tim a lot. Tim's been on the show even lately. He's an integral part of the Nintendo Dads team. And so big thanks to you for all you did anyway, but we're going to try to make up that ground, which isn't much, let's be honest, and meet that $2,000 goal while meeting my $1,200 goal as well. And if you want to donate right now, as you're listening to this, you can go to extra-life.org and you can search for Nintendo Dads or search for Marty Estes, and you will find us there, and you can make your donation to us as we do that. And guys, anything is appreciated. We've had people give $100. We had people give $1. Like my daughter,
all of it goes to an amazing cause.
Yeah, my daughter came to me this week and handed me 4 quarters and said, "Daddy, I want to give this to Extra Life." How could I say no? Right?
Yeah.
She gets it. And it's not for us. We've said that before. This is not about anybody other than the kids who are needing this treatment. And I actually had one of my former students, for those of you who maybe have not been listening for a while, I'm a student pastor. And I actually had one of my former students whose son just had, a few months ago, open heart surgery at Le Bonheur Hospital, which is the hospital I'm playing for. And she messaged me yesterday and sent me a picture of her son that I'm going to post in the morning. And it was a picture of him now and a picture of him like when he was born and how bad off he was, laying in a hospital bed, hooked up to all these tubes at Le Bonheur. And she said, if it wasn't for Le Bonheur, he wouldn't be here. If it wasn't for that open heart surgery, he wouldn't be here. And she said, while we were there, they took care of us so well. She watched them personally walk around and give people who did not have the money to eat, to give them food vouchers so that they could go to the cafeteria and they could get something to eat. They did people's laundry. They sat with kids while their parents could go out and rest. She said one day, the day that they weaned her son off of pain medicine, and it was such a bad day, she was so distraught she forgot to eat, and they just walked in her room and handed her a pizza and said, "We noticed you have not eaten today. Take some time and rest and relax. We've got this." Right. And so that's why we play for Le Bonheur. That's why we play for Children's Miracle Network hospitals. That's why Extra Life exists. And so if you haven't yet, go make that donation, extra-life.org. Search for my name, search for Nintendo Dads. You'll find us. Make a donation. We really, really, really appreciate it.
And a couple things just before we head off that, and you're absolutely right on this, Marty. We've been doing Extra Life now for, what is this now, our 3rd or 4th year, and we are so excited to be able to participate in it. And I think as fathers, as dads, I think we can all connect with the importance of this. But I want to give a shout out to some of the members of our team. Nicholas Metzger, who with his youth group this last Friday did an entire Extra Life stream as well, and he raised and met his goal. Thank you so much, Nick, for that. That is absolutely fantastic. Tim Regis Jr., same thing, Extra Life member of our team, and has raised his goal as well. So, guys, thank you both, gentlemen, for doing that. And obviously, Marty, your campaign that's going through, and obviously you mentioned before, Tim has donations as well. So any of those fantastic people support us, and you can support Marty as well. Here is one thing that I do want to say right now. The Mega Dads raised $1,700. We are very close to beating them. And that's really, for me, what's important. The kids are great, but really for me, beating the Mega Dads, that's what I want in life.
It's just to rub it in their faces.
It's just
right?
a little bit. Every year we're able to beat them, and I would love, again, for us to push that over and do it.
It's just so that we can say, it's just so we can say, obviously, we care about kids way more than you do.
Yeah, exactly. We know there was for a while, I think, a world championship belt that was going to be made, but it kept staying at the Nintendo Dad's headquarters. I was like, why would we even make it? It doesn't even need to leave us. So if you can, guys, head over there. Of course, I make a joke. Any Extra Life donation anywhere to any team is valuable, and we appreciate the Mega Dads as well.
That is A+. That's exactly right. And I do want to make one last quick announcement about this, and then we'll move on to the important stuff, right? We are giving away prizes. So if you donate, and the donation is between $1 and $5, you're entered in a drawing for a $20 eShop card. If it's $6 through $20, you are entered in a drawing for a $50 eShop card. If it is anything higher than that, you're entered in a drawing for a Power A controller, either an enhanced wireless controller or a GameCube controller. The wireless one, like we have exploded on YouTube over the past week. And then everyone who donates is also going to be in the drawing for Nintendo Dad stickers. And one lucky person, no matter the amount of the donation, one lucky person will win an absolutely free game from us.
Yep.
So, like, say it's you, Justin.
Yeah.
And you've got a game coming. Like, think about this. Is there a game that's coming down the pike that you are excited about?
Smash.
Smash is not out yet, though, right?
No.
So what we would do is we the Nintendo Dads would give you an IOU.
Yep.
And when Smash came out, guess what we would do? We would buy Smash for you.
Yep, it's brilliant.
If it's Animal Crossing next year, guess what we'll do? We'll buy Animal Crossing for you.
Sure.
If it's Fun with Horses, which releases next.
I love Fun with Horses. It's one of my favorite games.
On the 13th, it's like My Life with Horses.
Yeah.
If you want My Life with Horses, we will buy you My Life with Horses.
So good.
And then we'll possibly buy you another game that's better.
Can you buy me a horse?
We're not going to buy you a horse.
That feels
really that. But anyway, everybody who
boom.
donates gets in a drawing, win a free game.
All right.
I love it.
And we'll read your name on the stream, and we'll tell people that you're cool. So, I mean, that right there is, especially some of you who have those unpronounceable names. If you want to donate and try to get, people keep calling me the King of the South. If you want the King of the South to speak your name, donate, and I shall do it. But hey, guys, it's not all about us. Let's move on. Let's talk about some news, because there's a ton of news, important stuff to talk about tonight. Yeah. And so, Jesse, get us right into that. And Justin, who is our news brought to us by?
The news, of course, brought to us by our amazing Patreon supporters over at patreon.com/Nintendo Dads, whereas for little as $1 a month, you too can help us make amazing content. Whew, the news. Well, you guys threw a lot of news items in here. I'm going to pull out the major ones, all right? If it's all right, I'm going to pull out the major ones and let's have a chit-chat about it. A little chit chat.
Let's do it.
Let's start off with this one. I think this is the major one that we have to, lead with. Nintendo is advertising for Zelda-related jobs, sparking rumors of a new Zelda in development. New Zelda title. Gentlemen, what do you think of this?
I'm surprised it's taken this long.
I think that that it's obvious. right? I mean, Breath of the Wild was gigantic. It was one of the first times in recent years that Nintendo has won Game of the Year again. So a follow-up is inevitable, but I also want to remind everyone to curb your expectations, because look how long it took for Breath of the Wild to come out.
Yeah, I'm still expecting a 2D game to come out before we see a 3D game again.
Do you think that 2D? Do you think that 2D
totally
game would be
what
over?
they're hiring for.
It could be, yeah. Do you think, Jesse? You think that 2D game is over on the 3DS, or do you think it's Switch related?
I'm hoping Switch.
Yeah,
but now it wouldn't surprise me if they threw one more 3DS game.
I'm fine with it if it's on 3DS. Quite honestly, I know that I bag on 3DS a lot. I would be fine with it, but allow me to say I would prefer it on the Switch.
Yeah,
I'm like Jesse.
Yeah, of course.
I would like to see what an HD 2D Zelda can look like.
Probably a lot like Blossom's Tale.
Maybe we'll finally get that Zelda 2 remake.
It could be. Now, here's the thing that I'm wondering, and obviously the Nintendo president recently made an announcement that he wants to see more DLC into their current existing IPs that are out, right? He made that comment, not a big shock there. Do you think possibly this could be, let's say, a Breath of the Wild DLC patch 3? Or is it more likely to get what I would call the Majora's Mask treatment, where we're potentially using those assets quickly and recreating a game within a short cycle, like 12 to 18 months? What do you guys think? You think that's possible?
Honestly, I think that the possibility of DLC Pack 3 is probably higher than a new game at this point. Because along with that comment that he talked about, more DLC for older games, I think the comment was made, or the adjective was used, evergreen. That there are some titles out right now for Switch that can be or could be evergreen. Breath of the Wild was mentioned.
Odyssey would have to be one.
Odyssey was mentioned, although I don't think they've done much to keep it evergreen.
Mario Kart and Zelda.
Mario Kart was mentioned. Splatoon was mentioned.
Yes. There was 4 games mentioned in last week's episode during the investor briefing, and we mentioned 5 games, so 4 of those 5 are the ones that they're targeting.
Yeah, somewhere. So they're in there somewhere. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I kind of, where there's smoke, there's fire, right? Oh, we want to make DLC for evergreen games. Oh, there's rumors that they're hiring for Zelda. Well, are they? Those two kind of seem to go together to me.
Right. Yeah, makes sense.
There's a Zelda game in development. Duh. There's always one in development.
Yeah.
There's probably 2 or 3. Do you mean like in various forms of whether it's actual, like we've got code and we're 5 months into actually we've got
or
a small
at least
team.
Even conception.
Exactly. There's a drawing on a board in somebody's office, and that's like the Zelda 2014 that 2014 that we're going to be playing, or whatever, 2024, I guess, right? So, not a big shock. It's always a thing like, Nintendo's in development of their latest console. Yes, they were in development the moment the Switch swapped.
So is Xbox and
exactly.
Microsoft.
That's a big duh.
It's Sony.
But it's interesting to speculate, and I'd love to see DLC. I think I think Nintendo, and this isn't shocking. I think Nintendo has done a really good DLC strategy this year for almost every single one of their games, whether it's paid for DLC or not paid for DLC. So I think that they'll be interested to see where this shakes down. Now, speaking of DLC, Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC roster has been indeed set, and according to Sakurai, choice was made by Nintendo and out of his hands, which he also then pleasantly basically sent a tweet out saying, "Stop nagging me about who you think should be in it, because they're not going to be in it. Now stop it."
It was a very pleasant way of saying, "I'm tired of hearing you."
Yeah, it absolutely was.
A very pleasant STFU.
Yeah, exactly. So it's already been set. There's really no vote. Now this isn't a huge shock, right? I don't know. What do you guys want to take any cracks at it, knowing that Nintendo has indeed set that already?
Well, let's add one more little modifier to that, in that they said there will be no more Echo Fighters.
Okay.
So these will not be Echo Fighters of anyone, which means
I thought they said that during the direct.
Yeah, because they said they're brand new, like from the ground up.
And so that means that there'll also be none of these will be Fire Emblem characters, since all of them are Echo Fighters of each other.
Sweet pumpkin. I'm happy about that one.
Well, maybe I say if we can get a Spearman in there. I don't think we have any of those yet, do we? That would probably be.
But here's the deal: is that I don't know that it's going to be that. It
probably won't be.
I honestly look for underrepresented games to have DLC characters. I can very easily see another Square Enix character getting in via DLC. I could see another Zelda character getting in via DLC.
Yeah, I had to remind my son that Geno is not a Nintendo character. That Square Enix, that is a Square Enix character. It doesn't mean he's not qualified.
Can I give
Cloud's there?
Can I give my hope? Because I went back and looked over my list from last week, and I realized that I had a character in mind for a long time, and somebody that I wanted, and I think it's doable because Ridley's doable. I want a Guardian.
I think someone said that last week. Oh, no, they said a champion. Yeah, but Guardian would be kind of cool.
I would love to be able to play as a Guardian. But I like, think about it.
Have Zelda a good moveset.
Zelda is one of Nintendo's crown jewel, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, and look at the character representation. Link, Zelda, and Ganondorf.
Well, okay, well, hold on. You say that, but like there are 5 different versions of Link that they've put out in the game.
I understand that, but like, where's the variety? Where are the spices? Right?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, Ravio. They, I tell you another one too. King of Hyrule would be awesome.
Sure.
I mean, they have tons of characters. Look at Hyrule Warriors.
Yep.
There's tons of characters to pull from Zelda. It's just you figuring out which ones. I think this pretty much closes the book, and I'm saying this because I want to not hope, and then if it happens, I can be very pleasantly surprised. That I think it pretty much closes the book that there's not going to be a Waluigi.
How about having
why? Why would you say that?
How about having Bigoron as a spirit?
I'd say that because, we've got he's an assist trophy, and you had all these characters who were rumored to be assist trophies, who were rumored to be real characters, and they ended up being assist trophies.
Spirits.
Yeah, so I think it still very much leaves the opportunity for Banjo to actually be in it.
You do?
I really think it does, because I think that he may be like the final and 5th one, for example. Over the next year, I would encourage us to continue to look at the potential relationship that Nintendo and Xbox has. Right. Like, so for example, if in 4 or 5 months from now, the Nintendo 64 is announced and Banjo is on it, right? Then it's
obvious.
Then that may introduce that the relationship is there. I think I would not be shocked. Right. I mean, I think, Nintendo is able to get Cloud from like anything is kind of possible. And I think that's becoming more and more apparent with them. So I mean, it could happen. I'm not like a Banjo activist or mad, but I just think that it actually is a very viable option, and it could actually fit really well into the platform. But who knows? We will obviously see. And Smash is less than a month away. So, ladies and gentlemen, if your hype level is not already at 10, what are you doing with yourself? And crank that all the way up. Speaking of DLC and speaking of updates, a couple big updates that we need to bring your attention to. Splatoon 4.2.0 update is now available, and that has added support for the Octoling amiibos, which are coming out here at the end of or beginning of December. You have the opportunity to changes to gears availability and multiplayer mode, including renovations to the reef, new Salmon Run stage, ruins of Arc Polaris now in rotation, and added Stamper special and new gear.
Yeah, so guys, I'm just going to tell you that I was playing yesterday, and that Stamper came out of nowhere, and that thing is wicked.
Is that nice?
Yeah, it's a giant hammer, that inks the ground when it stamps. And you can, like, this person just came out of nowhere and swung it, like, chasing me like 15 times. Right. And I was just like, I was running. It was like the boulder in Indiana Jones. I was like, oh God, it's coming. And yeah, there was nowhere to go.
That is awesome. That is absolutely awesome. And so that's a huge one. Obviously, again, a great example of Splatoon 2, them continuing to update that content. I love Splatoon every time I go back to it as well. So I'm excited for that. Another game that will be getting another push of DLC, and this one is in the form of free DLC, and as was Splatoon 4.2, of course, if you have your Nintendo Online subscription, you'll need that as well, is Kirby Star Allies. Just recently got announced a third and final major update occurring on November 30th. We're going to add some new Dream Friends and other Dimension Hero modes as well, where Kirby and his friends tag team various dimensions in a challenge mode. There will be a boss rush mode as well, which includes fighting against the Jambistian mages at the same time. So
and so all of that data from that came out of a video that was launched that was in another language. So basically,
marketing.
They did release them on. They did release it on the North American side as well.
Oh, okay. So I just the news article that I got it from had the original Japanese release. So Magolor from Return to Dreamland, Taranza and Susie coming from Planet Robobot, and I think Kirby Triple Deluxe that was on they were on the 3DS, and then this is a second boss rush mode, which is supposed to be harder, and then this another Dimension Heroes mode harkens back to Return to Dreamland, and features all the Dream Friends and others, and it's supposed to be like a hard mode. Challenge mode. So
that's great.
The main thing they highlight here is this is the third and final update to Kirby Star Allies. It will be receiving
a game that has been out for over 9 months now.
Yeah, November 30th is when this comes out, and it is very content heavy. Now, I know people kind of complained about it when it first came out, but I really don't think you can complain about it now.
No, and I mean, I think, and that's the interesting thing about Nintendo and their strategy they've been doing over this cycle is that, they may put out a game initially and it feels content light, but they continue to do this drip feed to it over time, and kind of bolster that content over time. Not necessarily a great strategy. We saw this first implemented actually back in the Wii U era when they released Splatoon, the original Splatoon, but they've continued that strategy into the Nintendo Switch. So that's very often why we'll see someone say, hey, I did purchase, X game, and when I got it originally, it just didn't feel like there was enough, but now I'm coming back to 3 to 4 months. This is, again, Nintendo creating an evergreen kind of tail with their games, having you come back every 6 to 9 months to play it again, to recycle it, and remember that it's there. In some ways, is actually helping them fill out a thin catalog by inserting DLC to kind of make you remember, like, oh, I'm still playing X game. I'm still playing.
I still have Kirby Star Allies.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That kind of stuff. So it's an interesting strategy for them to do as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that takes care of the updates, right? So let's kind of talk about the biggest thing, I guess, or one of the biggest things that we need to get into this week, and that is Black Friday here in the United States. And I know that just from talking with Gary, this is not a huge deal over in and around our European friends, but here in the States, and I described it to Gary this way today, and he agreed. I said, we Americans love a good hysteria, and Black Friday creates a good hysteria every year. And we just what we wanted to do, if you haven't been able to see these ads, is to kind of hit the high points of the big three. And when we say big three, we're talking about Walmart, Target, and Best Buy. And I will go ahead and tell you on the front end of this, Best Buy is the place to go for deals this year. I had read an article last week that said Best Buy was poised to compete very heavily with Walmart this year, especially for entertainment and electronics, being that that's their specialty. And what I found is that pretty much everything that game-wise, like actually software-wise, that's being sold at Walmart is being sold for at least $3 to $5 cheaper at Best Buy. And they have a higher selection of games that are being offered at those prices. So let's just dive right into this. You could call this Nintendo Dad's Black Friday buyer's guide or awareness or whatever you want to call it. All three major retailers will feature a bundle for the Switch that comes with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe pre-installed for $299. So basically, you're getting the second highest selling game for the Switch for free.
And of course, that'll count towards the game sales in their investor briefings. So that'll kind of pad those numbers a little bit.
Yeah, and that's probably going to make it overtake Super Mario Odyssey, I believe. The 2DS is not to be outdone. There will not be any deals on the 2DS XL or the 3DS remaining stock. However, Nintendo will again introduce what I call the doorstop 2DS, which is the wedge-shaped one, for $79.99 with a pre-installed copy of Super Mario Maker in a red and yellow color scheme with an 8-bit Mario sticker or icon on the front. That will also be available at Walmart, Best Buy, and Target for $80. However, let's just run over some of these deals. Let's start with Walmart. $35 games at Walmart. Just hitting the high notes here. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze will be $35. NBA 2K and FIFA 19, both of those, the 19 edition, will be $35. And they will also offer Pokken Tournament, Xenoblade Chronicles, and ARMS. For $25, basically every Lego game that's out for the Switch. Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, Mario and Rabbids Just Dance 2019. And then for $17, various 3DS games that are already on the Nintendo Selects. But we'll also offer, oddly, South Park The Fractured But Whole for Switch for $17 at Walmart. Justin, were you going to say something?
Nope. I just went, interesting.
It is interesting. It is interesting. Moving on to Target, I will also say this. Swing the pendulum to the opposite side. Target is the saddest place for deals on video games on Black Friday. $15 Farming Simulator for the Switch will be offered. That's it.
Wow.
$25 at Target. Mario Rabbids, Nickelodeon Kart Racers, Crash Bandicoot, and Just Dance 2019. $35 Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. That's it. 20% off Switch cases and wired controllers and Starlink starter set for $40.
The Starlink one might be good.
No, hang on. It gets better. Now, I will tell you the best deal, like the most insane deal that I saw at all for anything is at Best Buy. And let's just dive into theirs. They are selling a 64 gigabyte micro SD card for the Switch for $18.
Oh, wow.
Which is $62 off retail price here in the States.
Which the retail price is way wonkers anyway.
Yes,
you could have always bought this card at Amazon for like $30.
Yeah, but it's going to be $18. I don't know if this is the Switch branded one that is has
probably not.
Link on the package or whatever. They will also be selling wired controllers. I'm guessing the Hori or the Powered A ones for $14.99. Starting at $14.99, they will have 40% off a selection of Switch accessories, and the Starlink starter pack at Best Buy is going to be $35. I know. That's hard to beat.
Yeah, that's getting pretty good now.
$15. Animal Crossing New Leaf, Ocarina of Time 3D, Legendary Fishing for the Switch, and Shaq Fu. $19 at Best Buy sees games like Mutant Football League Dynasty Edition, Mario and Rabbids, LA Noire, Rocket League Ultimate Edition, Scribblenauts Mega Pack, and Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. $25, Undertale, Just Dance 2019, Crash Insane Trilogy, both Mega Man Legacy Collections, Hasbro Game Night 3-pack, Sushi Strikers for 3DS, Fire Emblem Warriors for 3DS, and then $29.99, basically everything that Walmart had for $35. Lego DC Supervillains, FIFA 19, 2K19, NBA 2K19, Overcooked, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker for 3DS. And then they claim that you'll also be able to save $20 on these Switch games at Best Buy. Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, Kirby Star Allies, Bayonetta 2, Lego DC Supervillains Deluxe Edition, and Valkyria Chronicles 4. Whew. So, just in my opinion, Best Buy has your best deals for gaming. I will say that I'm afraid that Nintendo is going to get overshadowed a little bit in this because Sony is running an absolutely insane deal on the PS4, not the Pro, but the Slim 1 terabyte edition with Spider-Man for $199.
Oh, wow.
At every major retailer. Also Microsoft is running the Xbox One S for $199 with Minecraft Creators Edition. So that's just nuts too. So they are already undercutting the Switch by $100 and giving a free game. And in one case, one of those companies is giving away the game of the year.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Do we just lose Marty?
I think we lost.
No, I'm
Marty's
here.
voice.
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I had to take a drink. I'm sorry.
No bother. It's okay.
The Best Buy may have the best deals, but they always have the worst lines. You can buy all these deals online this year.
Sure.
Everything is going to be available online.
Yeah.
A lot of them starting Thanksgiving night. People, listen, at the risk of offending any listeners, I will say this. Do all your Black Friday shopping online and stay home with your family. Please.
Yeah, I haven't gone out on a Black Friday in years.
And now I say that and I feel hypocritical because we are going out, but we're not having Thanksgiving on actual Thanksgiving Day with my family. But we're going out because of the deals on phones at Walmart. But you have to be in person to get like a $300 gift card for buying a phone, which is nuts. But anyway, those are the deals. If you have been waiting, like if you have thought about buying Starlink, wait. If you've thought about buying a Switch, wait. Just hold off a couple of weeks. And here's the thing, like I'm sure Target has more games than that at those things, but here's the way they did it is they show you a picture of it and they say, here's the price point. And it says this for the PS4, this for the Xbox, this is for the Switch and more, so you have no clue what you're getting until you get in the store. Then that's not conducive to you getting my money at this time of year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's that. Moving on. Let's hit some smaller news items here, and then we can move on to other things. 8BitDo is releasing a wireless adapter for wired GameCube and Classic Edition controllers, meaning it's literally a wireless dongle that you plug your controller into, and it makes your controller wireless. This works with the Switch, and it releases on, ironically, December 7th for $20.
I don't think that's an accident.
No. The cool part about this is some people look at this and go, oh, I can use my wired GameCube controller. The part that I'm looking at is I don't have to pay $50 to $60 for those Joy-Con style Nintendo controllers anymore for the Nintendo Entertainment System that Nintendo is selling to online subscribers. I can just use the NES Classic controllers I already have and play that way.
Mm-hmm.
So $20 gets you the dongle. It also contains a reset button and a capture button on the dongle. So it adds those features to your controller. So for $20, it's pretty good.
Yeah, that also
would either of you be interested in this?
I don't have a controller that would accept that right now.
Okay.
So
Are those back in Canada?
Yeah, those are all back in Canada. I don't even have it. I don't even have a GameCube controller, an original one. I had one before I moved, and I actually sold it. I sold that, Mario Sunshine, and Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah.
And my original Wii.
The only reason I have a GameCube is because of our good friend Colin Harris, patron, supporter of the show.
Yeah.
Fantastic human being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but I do see your point there that it does. If you have an old Oh, that is interesting, actually, to make them wireless, because I do have a SNES.
Yeah, see, so you like when that comes to the Switch, you might be able to use that controller wirelessly.
Well, I already have a wireless one from 8BitDo, actually, interestingly enough. So, but it's like I'm actually looking right now. It's a good idea. Yeah. Actually, like we'll have to pick one up for the show.
Obviously. Absolutely, because apparently the hunger for GameCube controllers from Nintendo's fan base is rabid.
Outrageous. I'm really thinking about buying that wireless controller, actually, Marty. That you
should do it. It's worth it.
Yeah, I'm going to pass on this 8BitDo one because we already just
it's wonderful.
Bought a new wired GameCube controller with the adapter to plug into the Wii U into the Switch. But I did order one of those wireless GameCube controllers. That's I realized I've been saying for years I want to have a Wavebird 2.0. This is likely the closest it's ever going to come. So yeah, I bet I'm gonna grab that one.
Everybody talks about the quality of the Wavebird, even from way back when, that it was kind of like the granddaddy of wireless controllers and it was always the best. Mm-hmm. This really feels like Wavebird 2.0. And, one of the questions that we just did a new video, top 5, frequently asked questions about this controller. And I didn't get into the lag question. And some people call me on that. And the reason I didn't get into it is because it's really hard to measure that. I don't know how to measure that. We don't have Smash yet, so I don't know what the lag would be. I guess I could play it with a fighting game, but just in comparison, I played it with Splatoon. I played it with Mario Odyssey. I played it with Super Mario Brothers 3. There was absolutely no lag at all in any of those. So I don't know any other way to say it than that I was not able to tell that there was any lag, and I didn't want to bring that into that video without having something to back it up, right? Mm-hmm. So, and I know people are like, well, you can plug it in your computer. Well, I don't know how to do all that. So
people are also asking if how the D-pad feels.
The D-pad feels good. It has a surface on it that feels a little bit rubberized. That's the only way I know to describe it. So it feels like my thumb sticks to it. I don't say sticks to it, but kind of grips it better. The only thing about it is that it's smaller. And I responded to a comment on that video this week, and I said this: out of the 3 D-pads that I've used on the Switch so far, and that being the Pro Controller, this controllers, and the Hori Joy-Con, that only works in handheld mode. The Hori Joy-Con's D-pad is absolutely the best. It's big, it's chunky, it feels good on your finger. This one is number 2. The Pro Controller's D-pad is ridiculous. This one is good. I did use it with Super Mario Brothers 3 when I tried it out in the original video. It felt good. But the only downside of this one is it's the smallest of the 3. And if you think back and you remember the GameCube, like its D-pad was pretty small as well. So it stayed pretty close to form. And that's my commercial for the PowerA wireless GameCube controller. That's like the 3rd one we've done. Let's move on. Let's talk about some other news. Pokemon Go made $73 million during October. I think some of this, I mean, we don't have to talk about this very long, but it's just like it's leading up to Let's Go. You guys, do you see that?
Oh yeah,
yeah. And if the talk about Meltan a few months ago, they announced that in order to get Meltan in Go, you have to play Let's Go and get things imported in. So that's going to be a big push for Let's Go as well.
Oh, absolutely. I think Let's Go is going to do bigger numbers than anybody thinks. All these people who were like, "Oh, it sucks. It's back to Kanto. It's kids Pokemon." It's going to do ridiculous. It's going to be huge.
Yeah, have you ever remember when we went back and tried to play the Gen 1 games last year? Those games were more difficult than I remember.
They did not age well.
Yeah, they
have not aged well.
Right. So I'm kind of looking forward for this a remake that probably balances things out a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Metroid, Mighty Bomb Jack, and Twinbee will be available on Nintendo Entertainment System on the Switch as of November 14th. We would also advise you to keep an eye out for another surprise release. If it's just, another game that has been, in the roster already, I'm going to call Metroid. I think they're going to do a regular version and they're going to do an SP version to make it easy. Because there's going to be a lot of people playing Metroid who may have never experienced that before. And, start with more energy tanks, start with some missiles, start with a couple of items. There you go. Those will be out next week.
With the Zero Suit or whatever, before they go. I'm not sure what they called it back then, but
the Varia suit? Was it?
No, or just like basically wearing the swimsuit.
Oh, yeah. That's right. and it wasn't the Zero Suit. Speaking of Zero Suit, Brie Larson, who is playing Captain Marvel in the upcoming movie, dressed up as Samus for Halloween, which was, to the delight of many guys on the internet, and also said that she would be down to play Samus Aran in a Metroid movie if asked, which immediately Nintendo fanboys latched onto and was like, we need this right now.
Immediately we just said, just go ask.
Yeah, like why don't just
I'd be down for that.
I'm not definitely down for that one. Hasn't there been rumor of a Metroid movie, like a script in the works forever? Like I think that someone had the rights to it for a bit and then they didn't use it. Like I want to think there has been a written script before and it's been floated around.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's an actual, like, not to be rude, a lot of work that would need to go. Like I think there's a lot that's already there. So I don't know. Any which way, yes,
Brie Larson for it is good, but we could end up with like another Doom movie.
Yeah, I know there was that short a few years ago with Jessica Chobot as Samus, and that looked pretty good. That had potential.
Pretty good.
I'd see a whole movie based on that.
I think this would be a good time to mention too that Adi Shankar, who is the director and producer of Castlevania, which the second season just came out on Netflix, has been teasing a huge video game related new series, and a lot of people are saying it's going to be Zelda.
I think Zelda has the most possibility.
I don't know where the Zelda rumor is coming from, like where the smoke for that's coming from, but
probably
I'm down
just
for
a continuation of the rumor from 2 years ago.
Yeah, hopes and dreams. That's where it's coming from.
Listen, as long as he does not make Link into a huge jerk.
I don't think they'll make that mistake again.
Well,
the tone of it is going to have to be completely different from Castlevania, right? I mean,
they can't make.
It's going to have to skew a lot younger.
Yeah.
But like that, he said that he's going to reveal that actually next week. So by the time, no, it's going to be after next week's show. That's how things go.
Of course.
It's actually going to be, next Friday, I guess, or Saturday. He's going to talk about that. So that news is coming up as well. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Speaking of November 16th, Super Mario Party Joy-Con bundle releases stateside that day as well. This comes with a yellow Joy-Con and a green Joy-Con and a copy of the game. This is a fantastic pickup, parents. Listen, you need Super Mario Party for your holiday. I'm just saying. Your kids, if you have a Switch and you don't already have this, you need it for Christmas. It's fantastic. Ton of fun. Easy to jump into. Hordes of characters, unlockables, and all kinds of other stuff. And it's such a return to form for Mario Party. So good. I cannot tell you enough how good this game is. And if you want to see what it's like for a family to play that game, you can go and watch our live stream of it from earlier tonight, which is now up on our YouTube channel. Me and my wife and my kids playing Super Mario Party during Extra Life. We had a blast. We did the regular Mario Party, and we also did the river rafting thing. A lot of fun. Justin, you've got Mario Party, right?
Yeah, we love it. Absolutely love it.
I was going to say, recommended?
Yeah, totally recommend it. Yeah, we go back to it actually usually at least once a week where we're like, hey, let's play something. And that's the thing we continually go back to. Yeah, and actually, when we were in Croatia not too long ago for a little family vacation, we brought it with us, and there's a big storm outside, so no one was going outside. So we kind of bunkered down and played some Mario Party, right? So it's such a fantastic game.
Have you unlocked Donkey Kong yet?
I have not yet. I have not unlocked any of the characters yet.
I just started unlocking characters over the weekend. I thought that you unlock them by collecting points.
Yeah, so did I.
That is not how you do it. There are totally specific ways that you have to do it.
Son of a gun. I'll have to look at that then.
So Donkey Kong is complete three of the ending paths on river rafting.
Okay. Yeah, we haven't completed river rafting once.
That's really hard.
I know.
You know what I learned? You have to row. You have to row constantly.
That happens, yeah. My oldest daughter gets frustrated when we're like, we just about win and we don't. And then she's like, I'm not going and doing that again.
Yeah, I don't want to do that again. Absolutely, yeah. We did that the first couple of times, but now we've kind of gotten the hang of it, and we get it. Moving on, and probably what we probably should have been the biggest news of today, and at least according to what people are doing on their Switch, if you'll go and look at that right now, YouTube is now available for the Switch. You can download this for free from the Nintendo eShop. Did you guys see this one coming?
I heard there was rumors about it.
Rumors, yeah.
Yeah. So like I think earlier in the week, it kind of showed up on Nintendo's site with a date of November 8th. And then all of a sudden, with no ceremony and no announcement, it just drops. And I've seen some tweets about this out there from several, game journalists and others who do podcasts and things like that. Basically, the collective user base for the Nintendo Switch lost their minds, and everybody got on YouTube.
Yeah.
I
don't understand why.
I
didn't even download it.
Me neither.
Yeah, I've said this many times.
I don't know. I think for me, and I was going to mention this before the show, and I said I'd save it. The only plus side of it to me is the convenience of it. Like, I'm in a quick game. Oh, I just lost it Enter the Gungeon, or I was playing Tetris or something, and I just want to watch a YouTube video while I've got 50 minutes here while I'm, and I don't want to pull out my phone and have my Switch in my hand at the same time. So I'll just pop over and get on the YouTube app.
Yeah, and I saw Jeff Keighley sent a tweet today saying that hey, you can watch the Game Awards now on the Nintendo Switch, right? You're like, yeah, okay, you can, but why don't I just watch it on my 46-inch TV instead? I don't know. I feel like I'm definitely I get that people want it. I don't feel the desire for it, but I will say this. If you are watching the Nintendo Dads content on your Nintendo Switch, please do take a photo of it and tweet it and tag us.
Yeah.
I would like to see people actually doing that if that's indeed what is happening.
Yeah. And here's the thing. You say that about your 46-inch TV, and that's fine. But it makes a great alternative when your wife is watching yet another episode of Call the Midwife.
Right. Sure. But doesn't your iPad, does your iPad work too?
Yeah. I mean, I guess
laptop work.
but see, here's the thing though, is I think it's about, I'm not sure it's so much about the availability as it is about the accessibility of other media, right? So on my laptop, I can't play Mario Odyssey, but if I get tired of a YouTube video, I can start up Mario Odyssey. It's right there. I have one device. Right. No, I don't think I'm ever going to be making calls on my Switch, or it's going to replace my cell phone. But there's I guess the argument that I have is, why not? Hulu's on there, YouTube's on there, Netflix needs to get with it. They need to get on there. Why not? Why not?
I'm sure that's the next.
If it can play it, if it can do it, why not? And I was just reading just a few minutes ago on the My Nintendo News website that Nintendo has announced that as of January 31st, 2019, Nintendo will suspend all video streaming services on the Wii.
Correct.
And so, a lot of people, I know people personally who held on to their Wiis because that's the whole reason. We don't play games. We use it for Netflix.
Because they like their standard definition streaming?
I guess so.
Because he doesn't do more than 480p.
Yeah, I know. The Netflix emailed people, and this is what it says. Unfortunately, Nintendo will suspend all video streaming services on Wii, including the Netflix channel, after January 31st, 2019. We hope you'll soon enjoy an even better Netflix experience with additional features on a supported device.
That's not subtle at all.
No. So in other words, it's coming to Switch. So anyway, I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's not.
I've said this many times before. I have so many other devices that would do it better that I don't need it on the Switch.
Yeah, I agree.
Like just sitting here, I have 3 monitors and an iPad and a bigger TV behind me.
Yeah, but you know who doesn't have a lot of those devices? All of those devices at the same time? Kids.
Everyone else, yeah, kids.
And the thing is that YouTube it's a strategic market. Kids is a strategic market for YouTube. Go where the kids are. The kids are on Nintendo Switch. They're on the gaming consoles. Put it on there. Find a way to make it happen. So that's why we're getting YouTube on the Switch. And that, folks, is our news. How about we move into what we've been playing, shall we?
Do it.
Jesse, we're going to start with you this week. What have you been playing?
Okay. We talked a little bit.
I tried to make it sound accusatory. Did it work? What have you been playing? Shame. What have you been playing?
We talked a little bit about Deltarune last week.
Right.
I don't remember if you already had finished it by then or not.
I've still not finished it.
Okay, I have finished it. And yeah, I think where I was at last week was around the halfway point. I think I put about 2.5 hours total. And I had fun. It definitely is. If you understand what the whole point of Undertale is, you know that Deltarune is not this.
Right.
It has a completely different story and it wants to tell. And at the very ending, I'm not going to say any specifics, but wow, I want to know where this goes in Chapter 2.
The sad thing about that is that, did you see the tweet from Toby Fox after it released? That he basically said, there's no way that I can make the game that I have in my head by myself like I did with Undertale and a couple other people. It would take a team, and I have no way to put together a team. I don't know how to manage a team. I don't know how to even begin to put together a team. So if you have an idea, let me know. Because if not, it's going to take me 7 years to get the next part out.
I would think any major studio would be happy to step in and say, absolutely. Hi, what do you need from us and how can we benefit you?
If I was the head of a studio that day, like if I was the head of a studio and I saw that tweet, and I would have been on the phone immediately. I would have been like, what do we do to make this happen?
I was going to say, just as long as that studio isn't spelled EA.
Oh, no. No, I don't think he would even do that. I think Devolver Digital, I think that who else? Chucklefish, even though I don't want it to be, because Chucklefish games take forever to come out. But I think some of those developers who have mastered indie releases on the Switch would be incredible here. And all I got to say is I hope for sure, because I've been having an awesome time playing Deltarune. I had an awesome time with Undertale, and now that I've gotten a taste of it, I don't want to wait.
I'm going to be really honest with you, Marty. I was listening to last week's show, and your excitement for Undertale almost made me pull the trigger on it.
Okay, can I tell you something?
Mm-hmm.
And I got blasted for this on Twitter, and I don't care. It is in my top 5 games of all time. For the story alone. Yeah. I know that it doesn't look great. I know that some of the music isn't great, or the best. But that's the point is that it is one of my favorite stories in video gaming in the last 10 years. and it grabbed me and it would not let me go.
Nice.
And I still think about it. I still like. I was talking to my son about it because he's a huge fan of Undertale, and we were talking about. I completed the game on what's called the True Pacifist route, and we were talking about. And I just looked at him and I said, "Could you ever do the Genocide route?" Which in the Genocide route, basically what it is there are certain key like you kill everything, just like a normal RPG, right? You just buzzsaw through the game, but for those who aren't familiar with Undertale, there are like key characters, key monster characters that you can befriend, and that changes your ending based on that. And I was like, could you kill any of those key monsters? And he was like, no, I couldn't. And I feel the same way. Like after you go through that story, and it's emotional. And after you go through that story, like I cannot imagine doing the Genocide route. I can't. Like if somebody came to me and said, "I'll pay you $1 million," maybe. But
yeah,
like
you probably would have needed to have done the Genocide route first before the pacifist.
Oh,
route.
absolutely. But see, what people don't realize is, and it's spoiler alert. I'm not going to spoil any plot of the game. I'm just going to talk about what happens when you do the Genocide route. When you do the Genocide route, this is your chance to turn this off or skip ahead if you don't want a spoiler. If you do the Genocide route, it permanently alters your save game file. It does not tell you it's doing this, but it then changes the other routes to what are called soulless routes. And you have a soulless pacifist or a soulless neutral route. And it changes the ending of the game permanently. And you cannot get the other games unless you completely uninstall it and re-download it. Yeah.
Interesting.
And so like for the Switch would be like, delete that whole save file. Like just dump it.
Play it again on another account.
Yeah, that's true.
Create a new save state.
But Justin, seriously, I know you don't like turn-based RPGs a whole lot. Like you're not a huge fan of JRPGs, but here's the thing. It's a JRPG with a twist because the way that you fight and the way that you defend is bullet hell.
Right.
Like you're moving around the soul. And I tried it on computer and could not get the hang of it, but now like with a controller it's way better.
Okay.
So I think if you get some extra money or you're and it's not long. It's not grindy. It's not like it's 5-6 hours.
So here's what I'm going to say. Actually, and I want to say a couple of things first. Big thanks and shout out to Ant and to Timothy, who are watching the show on the YouTube app on Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Right now. Thank you, gentlemen, for that. I appreciate that. Now, if you recall, Marty, a long time ago, we asked for our fantastic friend, Mr. Timothy Alf, to create a Nintendo Dads show log. On this day, September 7th, Justin Marty made a bet. Marty believes a new Yoshi game in 2019 will be connected to and include elements of Labo. Justin believes it will not to be included. The bet, the winner gets a full game. Marty, I'm calling it now. If I'm wrong, or sorry, if you are wrong, I will get Undertale. You can pay me for my Undertale.
Okay.
Is that fair?
That's fair.
There we go.
That's fair. I would gladly buy you Undertale. Absolutely.
There you go.
And now I hope I'm wrong.
There you go now.
So that you'll play it. Because I think everybody should play it. But that's just me. Anyway, Jesse, sorry. Go back. Keep talking. Keep talking.
So the other game that I tried downloading today, it just came out today, is Picture Painting Puzzle 1000! So it's a Picross game. So of course the gameplay itself isn't any different than any other Picross game. So what makes one game better or worse than another obviously would be its user interface and controls. I'm not liking this one. I think Jupiter has spoiled me. Jupiter games have fine-tuned it, so it's the controls. I'm used to those controls. So the things I don't like about puzzle painting is they use different icons to represent your normal filled-in block and your X. The filled-in blocks actually looks like an X, which confused me at first. And it sounds like, I think they want you to use like a thumbtack or to be an X instead. So that's just jarring to look at. The other thing this does that I don't like is once you've marked a square, if you draw, like normally if you mark a square and then draw a line of X's around it, you can just drop an X and cursor over and it won't change your square. Your square has now changed to an X. So you have to be more careful at where you're placing things, because elements will override other elements. So, and there was one other thing I don't remember. Oh yeah, so there's 1,000 puzzles in this game. The 5x5s I can get done in like 15-20 seconds. Though those aren't really fun for me. So I'm normally, like, the Jupiter games will have maybe 4 or 5 of them, and then start getting into bigger puzzles right away. Here, there are over 200 5x5 puzzles. It's stupidly insane. I normally don't get excited, you know, they don't get fun for me until it gets into the 15x15 or the 20x20. And out of the 1,000, there are only 23 20x20s. So so this one is not worth, you know, it's only $6. Not really, I'm not happy with it. So I'm still going back to that Animal Girl one that I haven't finished up yet. From
honestly,
last month.
Like you keep, like when you talk about that, it just sounds like bad game design.
It is. Again, the only things you can mess with is, you know, the UI and the controls, and kind of both of them went south. You know, it uses A and X instead of A and B, and that kind of messed me up for a while. So yeah, it's, you know, if this is your first one and you've never played a Jupiter version game, it's probably fine. But if you're used to the Jupiter versions, you're not going to like this one.
Yeah. And I'm not like, I'm kind of a fan of the Jupiter version. Like I have the first Picross that's come out on the Switch, and they're just, it's difficult. It's hard. Too much math. Too much logic.
I like logic. Yeah. You know, there's been 2 on the Switch. There's been 8 on the 3DS, not including the Zelda and the Pokemon one.
And you've played them all, haven't you?
I've played them all. I've 100%ed every one that I've touched.
There you go. My wife likes Picross. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Can I interrupt for a quick second?
Yeah, absolutely.
Peter Ortiz. Yeah, you are cool enough now that you're watching our show on your Switch on the YouTube channel.
Yep. This is going to become a thing every week, isn't it?
It totally is. Totally.
Yeah. Who's watching on the Switch?
Yeah.
Check in on the Switch, and we'll mention you on the show. Justin, what have you been playing, man?
Oh, what have I been playing? I got a couple games to quickly highlight. I have been playing Just Dance 2019 with my daughters, and big thanks to Ubisoft for providing us a review copy of that. So big thanks to them. Thank you. It's really good. If you've played Just Dance before, same idea, right? There's songs to dance to, which are great. Kids get really into it. There's a really cool online functionality now where you can actually dance with other people around the world at the exact same time on the exact same song, and you can actually do live world rankings. So it's almost like you're essentially competing with people at the exact same time.
That's
so my daughter Rylan jumped in, and she was like, they've kind of like a song set. It's like, in 5 minutes we're going to be doing, I don't know, something by Justin Bieber or whatever it is. So all of a sudden it starts, and like everyone is dancing, and so it's just you're dancing, and it shows like, hey, your score is this, and you're currently ranked number 12. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, now it's slipped down to 23 because someone else has done better. So you can actually, it's really about, it's interesting enough, it's kind of about connecting people around the world. Now there's no voice chat app or any of that kind of stuff, but it's connecting people and competing against people in an Ubisoft way. And it's very, very well done, actually. I'm very impressed with how slick that interface is, how easy it is to jump in, and then you can earn points and you can drop in to get these, like, you as a kid used to leave grocery stores and put in like quarters, and you get those little gumball machines that popped out things. Well, you can do that with like their in-game currency, which you earn for beating like levels and scores. And so now you get new avatar skins and you get little new backgrounds. So it's really engaging and really cool that way. They've got a pretty good interface that way. Of course, I think it's up to 6 players can be in it at the same time, like local. So that's pretty fantastic. So we had a little bit of a dance party here not too long ago with a couple of neighborhood kids. Again, easily approachable. When I get home, the kids are like, we play dance, just dance. Not a huge shock. Now I'm going to caveat this with one of the things I don't like is they have this Ubisoft Unlimited Club, Ubisoft Unlimited. Now there's Ubisoft Club that you can connect with it, and when you connect the game with your Ubisoft Club, you can get like free avatars and skins. That's brilliant. That's fine. But your song choice is relatively limited unless you pay their subscription fee. And then you get like 400 songs unlocked. Now, if you have an Ubisoft Club and you log in with your account, you get the 30-day free trial. And they don't charge your credit card or anything like that. It's just like you get all the songs unlocked for 30 days. But if you want to unlock all the songs for an entire year, I think it's like 35 Canadian dollars. And that's only for the year, right? So then once your year is done, that's passed. So I'm not a fan of that. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't want to be paying for another service. They bring songs in and out of rotation, which are great. They had like a Halloween ones, which obviously is timely. They had some songs specifically highlighted in a playlist for Bohemian Rhapsody. They have a couple Disney songs on it. So there's a lot of really good things, and like the kids jump through. And the biggest thing I have to say to them is like just pick a song and play it. Like as opposed to they listen to like three seconds of it. They're like, yeah, I kind of like that song. Oh, but this song is really good. So it's a really fun game.
Do they have and maybe you mentioned this, and I was just off in outer space. Did you get a free month of that?
So you do get a free month of it if you have an Ubisoft Club account,
right?
Which I had signed up for before, because actually, if you have a Club account and you also have Starlink, you should have this because you get some free stuff via. It's all kind of like about if you have linked it to your Starlink account and you complete an in-game objective, you get reward points, and those reward points can be used for
that's cool.
Right. So there's a whole gambit of things that are there. So I would definitely encourage you to go and get an Ubisoft Club point, and it's all free, right? Like there's no cost associated with it at all. So, but yeah, you do get 30 days free. So the songs I recorded for the world premiere of #JustinDance 2019 were songs that were in that locked paywall that I had access to for the 30 days.
Nice.
So I was able to jump in there and do that. So, but I think, I mean, if you're on the fence about it, definitely. And they have a whole kids section too. So they have just the regular one, and they also have songs that are just for kids. So it's like, if your kids are 4 or 5 or maybe younger, they're just kind of learning how to dance and wiggle a bit, and you're worried about content, they do have a kind of a great one. We've always had a Just Dance game with our family. I think we get one every couple of years. Like we had one for the Wii U. I think we had one for the Wii. The girls love it, right? They love dance parties.
Right.
Total makes sense. I think this is a game as a parent definitely look into, definitely think about. It's a lot of fun. And I mean, as you can see when we world premiere our video later, you'll see how out of shape I am, but it's a lot of fun.
So yeah, so like you mentioned that's a good point about having like one every couple of years. We got Just Dance 2017 when the Switch first came out, and my kids still play that.
Yeah,
like weekly.
Yeah,
they love it. And so I think this is a no-brainer. My daughter wants 2019 for Christmas, and my son was like, I was like, well, maybe, we can get that or something. And he's like, no, Dad, I will buy that for her.
Oh, that's grand.
Nice. So he knows that she really wants that. And so he's got his eye on it, which is nice because it's going to be $25 on Black Friday.
Exactly. Yeah.
So he's going to save a little bit of money there. He's been saving up his money. I don't know how, like a couple of years ago, we started the tradition of them buying a Christmas present for each other. Mm-hmm. And like we gave them money, but it's now turned into they save their money and do it, which is really cool.
That's brilliant. That's right. We're doing things.
So I don't have to pay for it. And she gets Just Dance 2019, which is nice.
No, absolutely. The other game.
What else you been playing?
The other game I really want to highlight right now, I know I saw that you and I have also been playing Brawlhalla, so we can have a chat about that one. But I have been playing Moonlighter. And this just hit the Nintendo Switch this week. I have a video up on our YouTube channel. This game is absolutely amazing. And I came back from playing it at Gamescom, and I was not impressed by it. I actually, it went from being really on my radar to completely off my radar, and I wanted nothing to do with it. This is as if Legend of Zelda Dungeon Crawler meets Animal Crossing or meets Stardew Valley's kind of shopkeeping economics world with procedurally generated dungeons. And it is such a cool game. This is the game that I keep coming back to every night. This has broken my hook from Fortnite. Where Fortnite, I was like, yeah, I'll play a couple of games tonight. This is, I'm going to do something in my town, whether it is. So the idea is that you are a shopkeeper, and at night there is a dungeon not too far off from your town, and you go into the dungeon every single night, and you go through the dungeon levels. And there are drops. And so you take the loot that's dropped, you put it in your bag, and then the day you come back to your town and you are a shopkeeper and you sell said loot. And what happens is that you're selling the loot to the townsfolk, and you set the prices, and if they're too high, they won't buy. If it's just right, they'll buy. If it's kind of too cheap, they'll buy too much, they'll get too excited, and you're losing money. And then you use that money to then invest in your upgrades, which require also some of the loot that you came out of the dungeon with to do some crafting. Or you can use that money to invest in other businesses in the town, like a potion place or a blacksmith or some other shops like that. And that helps to build the economy in the town, builds people there to come to the town, which has more people then therefore coming into your shop. You can upgrade your shop to have more shelves, more areas to store stuff. And then again, you cycle again, and then into the night, you go into the dungeon and you do more, and you get more loot, and you bring it back out and do the same thing. And the more the further you get into the cave, the more kind of exclusive the drops are. Those drops go for more money. That money can then be used to get you better upgrades for your gear, which then allows you to go further into the cave, into the dungeon.
Nice.
There are 4 dungeons that have like 3 levels in each dungeon, kind of areas, like levels essentially. And then there is an end boss at the area. Now you need to complete 4 of these dungeons before you can unlock the major dungeon, which is the final boss to go into. And then some of these dungeons and the rooms that you go into have kind of like an access to one of the other dungeons in the other worlds, but you can only go there very briefly, and that would give you a very, very rare drop that you have not received anywhere else because you haven't unlocked those dungeons. It's a beautiful 16-bit pixelated graphic art style. It is absolutely fantastic. I didn't like. If everyone knows kind of like my style of play, I'm a 2D platformer, action adventure kind of person. This has grabbed me hard, and I will say I had received another major game to be playing around the exact same time as I got Moonlighter, and Moonlighter is the one I keep going to every single time. So I would highly
encourage you to pick up Moonlighter. Totally made me want this game.
Yeah, Marty, this is procedurally generated, Marty. Procedurally generated levels. This is completely up your alley.
Yeah, I may you may see me playing this on the Extra Life stream later on.
I think you should, and I think you will be happy.
It kind of reminds me of Recettear, a game I played back in like 2012.
Nice. Yeah, so I would say do it.
You've talked about that before, Jesse.
Yeah, and like I said, there is a video on our YouTube channel. You can check it out of me talking a little bit more about it. The other game I've been playing is Brawlhalla, but you have also been playing Brawlhalla.
I have, but probably not as much as you have. I've tried it. I've tried a couple of matches.
Nope, sounds like you and I are about the exact same thing.
So why don't you set this one up then?
Brawlhalla is trying to be Smash, and I don't care about the characters.
Yeah.
That is what it's trying to do. It's from Ubisoft, and again, thank you Ubisoft for. I mean, they can provide us access, but we like Ubisoft. They're nice people. But this is what's happened: is that Brawlhalla is trying to be is relevant for 30 days, and then the moment Smash comes out, this game is no longer, I think, relevant to a lot of people.
Oh no, it's not.
It is a free-to-play game. Mm-hmm. Which is great. They have microtransactions in it.
I mean, go ahead and mention the fact, too, that it's pretty much just online only.
Yeah, it is.
It's set up to be online combat only.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
There is a single player You can do single player matches.
Yep.
But they're not great.
No. It again, it's existing in that space to I mean, it definitely wants to be a Smash competitor. Doesn't have the legs to be able to do that, but it's a bit of fun. It's free, right? So there's right. No cost to you. That's always a good thing. I have jumped in there. I find I have to play with the D-pad or else the analog stick, gets me nuts. Yeah. The matches are relatively short. It's fun. It does its job. You kind of run. I don't feel like I'm really good at it. There are daily challenges again that kind of like the hook to bring you back in every single time to play. But yeah, it's.
Yeah, I don't feel like I'm really good at it either. I played like a couple of matches, and I still feel like there was a concept of the game that I was not grasping.
Yeah.
But also, I think this is worth noting too. Absolutely no tutorial whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's awful. Like they just don't care. It's like, just go in there and mash buttons. It is very, very simplified, right? I mean, there's no moves. I mean, the basic premise of the game is don't die like Smash, don't fall off the stage, and eventually weapons will fall from the sky, and you can get your character's one of two specific weapons for your character.
Yeah.
Which basically are a spear and a hammer for each character because they're Vikings, right? Yeah. And somehow Rayman ends up in there as well. I think
Shovel Knight's in there somewhere too.
Yeah, Shovel Knight's in there. The good. I will say the positive to this game is it's not Brawl Out.
Correct. Yeah.
Which was awful, and is still garbage.
I find
this plays very, very fast.
Yes. Yeah. I find what I'm doing more than anything else is it's just preparing me for Smash.
Oh yeah.
It's just kind of reminding me of the mechanics that I would want to think about for Smash. But again, it's free. I'd say it's not a bad thing to check out. I mean, again, if you're kind of in, if you think of something like you picked up, again, I think the story of the Switch over the last 6 months has been the freemium games available to you, right? Whether it's, Fortnite, Paladins, Arena of Valor, Brawlhalla, and of course, in a couple of weeks from now, Warframe as well, right? I think that's a story that Nintendo is telling, and the Switch is becoming a home for it. So again, I don't think this is a game that I will be sinking any money into it, unlike something like Fortnite where I have put some money into it. Paladins, I put some money into it. This will probably, again, remain on my Switch for as long as until Smash is on, and then I'll probably take it off.
It may get deleted tonight.
Sure, there you go. I think you should delete it and throw on Moonlighter. It's
not really, like, here's the thing. It's the only thing I could think to say about the game other than it's really fast. The controls feel really loose. I never felt like I was really in control of my character, like I was confident in, I want to make them go do this one thing, right? And they're going to go do it without fail. It's not it didn't offend me, and what I mean by that is it's like it's not a bad game, it's not offensive, but there's nothing about it that's remarkable. Mm-hmm. And of course it's free. I mean, but the thing about it is there's tons of people who love this game, right?
Yeah.
And I think probably because they just want Smash, and I think it's been on other systems. It's been on Xbox, it's been on PS4, it's been on PC, and they can't get Smash unless they buy a Switch. So this is a good substitute for them. Like I said, it's way better than Brawl Out, but it's still not like it didn't make me go, oh wow. And by the way, They get you in by telling you Rayman's in the game, but unless you unlock him and grind or pay to unlock him, you're not playing as Rayman first day.
No,
Sorry.
Exactly. Yeah, so it's again, I really do think and I think they understood their opportunity that they only had about a 30-day window before Smash to get this out before they lost people. So. I mean, give it a shot if you like it, but I don't think so. But what else have you been playing? I see 3 other games on your list here.
So Brawlhalla, I already crossed that off my list. I've been playing The Walking Vegetables,
right?
Which is it's a roguelike twin stick shooter set in the 80s, and it is one of the most bizarre games I've ever played. I haven't gotten to spend a whole lot of time with it. But it's a lot of fun. It's very, very fast paced. And it's got a kind of a good sense of humor to it. I'll put up a video about it in the next week. But it's out right now. It released today on the Switch. And, if like I said, it's twin stick shooter. and it's kind of survive as long as you can while hordes of mutated vegetables, like sentient vegetables with eyes and ears and legs, come chasing after you, and you have to shoot them down. And
sounds like a typical Friday.
Potatoes and corn, then.
Yeah, like okra and corn and carrots and
eyes and ears.
Yeah, it's weird. It's all because of an alien invasion. Like the aliens cause the vegetables to rise up. I know. It's just
as you do.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. So that's available. Also been playing Save Me, Mr. Taco, which is a Game Boy game on the Switch, literally. This was published by Nicholas, who you guys know is their quality publisher. It literally looks and sounds and plays like a vintage Game Boy game from the mid-90s. The storyline is that you are an octopus, and in this world, the octopus or octopi are natural enemies of man, and so they are about to go to war with men and try to run them out so that they can be the dominant species in the world.
So this is the prequel to Splatoon?
I guess so, yeah. So,
could you imagine if for some odd reason they're like, yes, it is?
Yeah.
like all of a sudden there's Nintendo switch of approval.
Taco is in the story where I'm at. Taco is kind of at odds with his brother Baco, who both of them have been visited by a magic fairy who have given them the ability to breathe outside of the water. And so, whereas Baco uses his powers for evil, Taco is using his powers for good to bring happiness. And it's a cute little game. I don't know that it's exactly what I expected, but I'm not having a bad time with it. I'm actually really enjoying it.
Nice.
It reminds me of all those car rides, in the back seat of my car while Grandma was driving or Mom or Dad was driving and we were going somewhere and I was playing like Kirby or Mario Land or something like that, on the original Game Boy. And it looks like I said, the filter, like one of the cool little touches about the game is that you're able to set your color palette. And a lot of the color palette looks like what would happen if you had used the Game Boy Color or the Super Game Boy on the SNES, but you can also play it in like that original greenish gray Game Boy hue. So it's really like it ticks all those nostalgia things. And even in the beginning, like a little octopus comes down from the beginning and it goes ding, but it's very close to the Game Boy, how it used to start up, but it's just off enough, that it's not. So that's like if you love the Game Boy era and love like action games from them, weird Japanese action games, then this is right up your alley. I have also been playing Diablo 3, which is a game that I did not think I was going to be interested in and was not planning on picking up. And then I started seeing all the reviews for it and decided that I would trade in some games and take a chance on it. And I'm so glad I did. I'm enjoying it.
Nice.
In fact, there's if you guys had gotten the copy of our streaming schedule, that like 10 a.m. in the morning or something, I'm supposed to play Starlink. I'm skipping Starlink and I'm going to do Diablo. And I'm actually skipping Starlink at the advice of Nick Metzger, who did it during his, and he said he had to turn Starlink off because he said it was like liquid kryptonite. Just kids were dropping like flies. He's like, you don't want to go to sleep. So I'm going to try Diablo 3 during that time. I am not familiar at all with Diablo, and so at all, like I've never played a single one. So I'm going into this blind, and like on our Discord, there's a Diablo channel now, and like people are in there talking about raids and portals and all kinds of stuff. I'm like, I just know you go in and I hold down the A button and my guy kills stuff.
That's too funny.
And so like, and somebody posted in there earlier that they're already level 70 and already have all the Ganondorf stuff. And I'm like, get me, it's been out less than a week. I don't know. Yeah, weird. But I'm enjoying it. I really think that it is probably the best port ever so far on the Switch. And I have seen lots of people say that. Digital Foundry has said that. IGN has alluded to that. It's just really good stuff. And so if you are a Diablo fan or a Blizzard fan, then maybe you need to put it on your radar. Maybe Christmas, that kind of thing. So there you go. Good stuff. Diablo 3.
Yeah, we didn't mention it during the news, but did you see the little joke that happened during BlizzCon?
Did not.
I don't know if that's qualified as a joke.
Well,
I think he's talking about Diablo Immortal.
Yeah. Yeah, Diablo Immortal was announced. Then when they said it was a mobile game, the crowd just went silent and boos, and the person on stage is confused about why the reaction is. They're like, "Don't you have phones?" One person in the Q&A, one person asked, "Is this an elaborate late April Fool's joke?" And was legitimately serious about the question.
Yeah, that's a little bit of gamer privilege is what that is.
There
are people that work very hard on these games that we don't need to be slagging on.
Yeah, but you're a company known for your exceptional PC games. People want more of what they have in more PC games. A mobile game is the last thing they want. Yeah. So I can understand the criticism. If I paid the money to be there at live, I would have been upset too.
Yeah, there were a lot of people who thought they were getting Diablo 4, and from what I've read out of that, they desperately wanted to show Diablo 4, and they just had to come to the conclusion that it simply was not ready. It was not up to the quality of what they wanted to show, and they did not want to show it in the state that it was in for fear of disappointing people. So then they even further disappointed people with a mobile game.
Right. Yeah, but you could have thrown up a splash card, right? Or a short, like almost
even
like
just to say, and then they did say that. They did say, guys, we are working on Diablo 4.
Yeah, but it's coming. The damage is done.
Yeah, by that time the damage was done, and what they could have done to salvage all that was just release Overwatch for the Switch.
So, they should have taken lessons from Nintendo from their E3 last year when they teased Metroid Prime 4 and then followed it up with, here's a remake of Metroid 2.
Yeah, dangled the carrot. And
or if they did it the other way around, then people would have been upset and then wouldn't have cared as much about the 4 message.
They could have said, but we're getting Diablo 4, remember? Yeah, and they got the cart before the horse there. So, guys, that's what we've been playing. Do we have any community spotlight stuff this week?
We do. We actually had a question that came in, and let me go.
Awesome, very good. So let's go straight to that.
Just came in. Bear with me 1 second.
Would you read that question there for us, Justin?
I will, and actually this one comes from Mecha Ready for Some Smash, and he also is now watching us on his
there you go
Nintendo Switch, so I appreciate that. Now Mecha's question is actually very simple. It is, which do you think is better to buy your games, physical or digital? What are the benefits of digital over physical?
Ooh.
Which
comes around every year or so, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a great question though. It's a great question.
Agreed.
No, and I think that's why it comes around so much. Is that I think that people are actively wrestling with this all the time, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you guys think?
So I do a weird thing. I do split between the two. I shouldn't say it's weird. I think a lot of people do. Depending on the size of the game. Depends on whether I'm going to buy it physically or digitally. So I only have a 64 gig memory card. I don't intend on buying a bigger one. So I do a lot of data management of my content. So, for example, Smash is coming out and it's like 13 gigs. So I'm like, no, buying that one physically, right? So I have that on cart. Also, you get a sweet collector's case and stuff like that. I buy a lot of my first party titles physically. So if it is a Nintendo first party game, I will buy that one physical. And then my second part after that is, depending on the size of the game at launch, will I buy that physical? So Nintendo first party, I'll buy physical. And then if it rolls down to like, okay, I want Doom, let's say. Okay, well, Doom is 32 gigs. Okay, well, I'm going to buy that one physical because it's too large. That will be my next one. And then after that, for the most part, it's digital. Like I know I buy a lot of indie games and stuff like that. So Moonlighter is a great example. That was actually provided to us. But I buy a lot of digital games. Undertale, we'll use that as an example. If I buy Undertale, I'll buy it digitally. Mainly because like I don't really want to buy another case. I don't want another game case sitting around in my shelves. I know a lot of people are collectors that way. I'm not really. I'm okay to have it. And I also like having it on the device as well. And then when I'm done with it, I just manage it, right? So if I'm done with it, then I will delete it off of the memory, and it still shows the icon is still on the homepage, but it's off and I'm freeing up some space. So that's kind of how I do it. I don't know if that's a great answer, but it's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B based on what I want. So yeah, okay. Obviously benefits to digital is it's kind of always with you. That's a benefit. Benefit to physical is like Marty. If you don't like it, you can trade it in, right?
Yeah, I've been mostly digital since I would have been since the beginning of the 3DS, but they didn't have retail games on their eShop right away. That didn't come till later. So when they did start putting retail games in the 3DS eShop, I bought them that way. I've been almost 100% digital with the Wii U. I think we owned 5 discs. Everything else was digital, and with Switch, I own 1 cart. And it's Zelda. So so even with the PS4, I'm mostly digital. Like if a game will come in a special edition, or something I want as a collector, then I'll buy that and get the physical. It's like I did that with Persona 5 and a few other games. But mostly I'm digital. I just like having everything on the system ready to go. Yeah. I don't have to get up, change discs, change cards. I just hit home button, next game, go, and I'm on to something else.
Yeah, and I think for me, like I was thinking about this versus like my Switch versus my 3DS, right? And there are games that enticed me to buy them physically because of what was collected with them or what came with them, right? Obviously, I bought Mega Man 11 physically because I got the collector's edition through GameStop, got the amiibo with that. I bought the Mega Man Legacy Collection physically because it came with the cleaning cloth. I got the Mega Man X Collection physically, which it came with nothing. But there's some games that I'm very content to just have digital versions of, right? But then there's games that I have digital versions of that I wish that I had physical versions of. Like I wish that I had a physical version of Mario Tennis Aces, because then I would go and I would trade it in. Just like I did Sushi Strikers.
Yeah, that was like me and Watch Dogs.
Right. So but the thing is that I agree with you guys who have said that you love the convenience of having some of those games digitally, right? It's like I have, 5 or 6 games physically, and that if that's all I have, then that's, a very limited selection. But if I have all this other stuff digitally, then I can, carry 20, 30 games with me. And I'm like Justin. I mean, we get a lot of review copies and things, especially of indies. And so my Switch is full of those, but that's cool. It's like I have all 5 Jackbox Party Packs on there, so I can play any of those games when I want to. I've got Enter the Gungeon. I've got Flint Hook. I've got all kinds of games that are right there at my fingertips, Fortnite and others. So I would say I don't know that I prefer digital, like as far as I'm always going to go that way, but I do like the convenience of it. But are some games that I like owning a cartridge of, right? And sometimes cartridge is a hassle. I'll just be honest. Like
I don't know how many times my kids have already lost Switch cartridges and then find them 4 months later.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I think that just the hassle of, I was playing Mario Kart, now I want to play Mario Odyssey. Got to get up and I got to switch it out. And on a portable system, like it started with the 3DS, like I bought almost everything exclusively digital on the 3DS. And it was because of that portability. Like I want to have all these games carried with me. And like the other day, even I was just like, I opened my 3DS. I think while I was finishing up Luigi's Mansion, I was like, oh my gosh, I have so many games on the system. I didn't even realize it, because I bought a lot of them digitally. And another thing too, with the digital game release, especially first party, is I don't trade in a lot of first party Nintendo games because I want to keep those. But the other is that I can either wait till in the morning and get it at GameStop, or I can download the last little bit that I need and play it at midnight the night before.
That's another plus.
Because I already
especially
with like Samus Returns, that was a big one for me.
Yeah, I already have Let's Go Eevee downloaded. My son already has Smash downloaded.
Yep. And you can't do that with physical copies. But like Justin said, there are some people who just want that game case. They want that cartridge. They want that disc. Or it came with a really sweet bonus. And so they decided that they needed that. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. Thanks for the question. Very good stuff.
Mm-hmm. That's all. Those are all the questions we have provided.
Guys, that is episode 204. And let me remind everybody that we are right in the middle of our Extra Life stream as we speak right now. You can go, if you're watching the show, you can go over to extra-life.org and search for Nintendo Dads, or search for my name, Marty Estes, and make a donation to help us climb toward our goal. We are less than $400 away from our team goal. We are less than $300 away from me meeting my individual goal for the team. And most importantly, anything that you give right now gets us closer to surpassing and then crushing the Mega Dads, which, as Justin explained at the top of the show, is the most important thing. That's why we do Extra Life.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Not really. We do it for the kids. We do it for the kids who are going to be getting a ton of benefits out of this. And guys, if you haven't made those donations, go over there right now. As I was saying before, when I was playing Mario Party, I get a text message notification every time somebody makes a donation. And as the youths might say, I need to see that hotline bling. And that can only mean one thing.
That's a
that
thing.
Means you gave Extra Life. Yep. The Extra Life hotline. Go over there and make a donation. And
I don't know what English these kids are speaking, because it's not my
English. I ceased being cool a long time ago. So, it's just, I got it off a meme or a commercial or something. The memes. Guys, it's been a good show tonight. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for donating if you have already given to Extra Life. Continue to check out YouTube all night long and all day tomorrow for all the games I'm going to be playing. I'm about to go play some Mega Man 3 right now. It's going to be awesome. One of my favorites. And so let's close out the show this way. We want to say huge thanks to our Patreon producers, Tim Off and Dave Ernsberger. We also want to encourage you, if you want to be like them and be super cool, you can head over to patreon.com/Nintendo Dads and support us for as little as $1 a month. You can follow us on all our social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, all at Nintendo Dads. Just search for us and you'll find us. You can also email us at nintendodads@gmail.com. Call in and leave a voicemail at 929-25-NDADS or 929-256-3237. And if you want to buy sweet Nintendo Dads merchandise like our recently released Voltendo Dad shirt and stickers and phone case and all that other good stuff, you can go over to tiny.cc/Nintendo Dad store to get in on that sweet merch. Big thanks to OC Remix for the music used throughout the show, and big thanks to Adam Leonard and Carter Johnson for all of our awesome art. Guys, it's been a good one. Enjoyed hanging out with you. You know what you need to do. What do you tell the people?
Have a good day. Is that the answer? Thanks for watching.
Sure. Jesse, what do you tell the people?
Bye-bye.
That's it. Bye-bye.
Maple syrup mousses.
Nintendo Dads.
Wobble Puffet, Wobble Buffet,